How we doing, everybody? Billy Big Balls here. Episode 7. Wow, episode 7. We always save the best for number 7. I'd like to introduce you to my guest for tonight, Costello.
Starty, Billy, how are you?
Bro?
Not bad at all, brother. Nice one for having us.
100%.
Starty folks, hope you're all well.
We were outside just before we started here having some refreshments, you know. And some of my own was going by with a dog, you know. And next minute she goes, "Here, Billy, come on, come on." And I started running after her. She was talking to her dog. The dog's name is Billy. I was thinking, fucking nice one.
She'll be back down later.
She'll be back down later, yeah. Yeah, she's around my age and all, you know. Nice one.
Lovely, lovely.
Right, bro. So what's the story with you? All good?
Not bad, yeah, and yourself?
Oh, good, all good. Do you want to introduce yourself to the camera and tell everybody who you are?
That's the story, folks. I'm Costello, represent Working Class Records. I'm an MC from Dublin.
Working Class Records?
Yeah, Working Class Records. Rest in peace to MC Lunatic, of course. He was the founder of Working Class Records.
Was that his tune you had up earlier on, was it?
Long ago, yeah. We done a video.
What a tune, man, and it's so relatable, isn't it?
Yeah, he was
fucking hell, man.
He was a deep individual.
Yeah, man, you can see,
Daniel
like,
McDonald.
You can hear it in all his rap, like, you know. You be like, I think, probably the best out there.
Jesus, nice.
Oh, man, 100%. Like, when you listen to it,
really appreciate that.
It's like, it's the closest to American rap, kind of, you know that way? Free flowing and... But I love the rawness in the words and all when you're talking a real Dublin accent. Like, I fucking love a Dublin accent.
Keeping it going. Yeah, we have Lunatic to thank for that because he's the first one who rapped really in the Dublin accent that like straight out of Ballymun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was around 2004. The lads were in Urban Intelligence. They had a crowd together, and that's where the raw shit came. Because remember, I heard the tune on the radio. You wouldn't have even heard much or this rap on the radio. But my brother actually taped it. I remember hearing it, I think it was Bring It On from Lunatic. I was just like, what the fuck is this? The thing just blew my mind. That, like you says, the rawness.
Yeah, the rawness in it.
The gutter vibes, yeah.
100%.
So
like, like they're saying, I love a Dublin accent. And you know people say, I hate the way people in Dublin talk. I fucking love it. And I love an old Dublin accent, you know. I love boats that speak in a real Dublin accent, you know.
Yeah, it's super attractive with the boats.
It's sexy as fuck.
Dublin hub rats
anymore. 100%, man. I'm telling you, young ones that have like real strong Dublin accents. That's a big
keep the common accent going, yeah, 100%.
Yuppa! But here, the rap and all, even I was listening to like people that are on your label and all, you know.
Working Class, yeah, there's a few lads, yeah.
They're fucking deadly, you know. Your mum, I don't know if you want to mention your mum.
Pat Royce, yeah.
I was listening to one of his tunes and he's fucking raw. I love that kind of shit, you know. Straight out of English, yeah, I love it. You know, like, and what they're rapping about is like, what's fucking relevant, what's going on.
Yeah, like, what's going on, the environment and all. And like, not trying to rip other people off with that slang or what their image is and what's going on. And I think that was with the strong thing for myself and then a lot of the lads in Working Class and all is that really representing Dublin. Like it's not like anywhere else in the world. It's its own individual city. It's its culture, it's its slang and all, you know what I mean? So it's all about representing that, but also bringing in the lyricism of like Big L, Nas, Tupac, Biggie, like combining all the greats, learning all the craft and what they had, you know what I mean? So listening to hip hop for years since I'm a kid. And and as well, because there wasn't nobody really representing Dublin like that, you know what I mean? And so it was very relatable when I was listening. I think got Tupac Greatest Hits when I was about 10, 11 years old or something. You know that tune, Brenda's Got a Baby? Talking about the young one getting pregnant. There was a young one across the road that was like 13 and she was pregnant.
Banging that door. Sorry, bro.
That's all good, yeah. But that's what I mean, like stuff like that was so relatable. And then you had a tune Trapped on Greatest Hits. And mind you, they're from Tupac's first album, Tupac Lips Now, so that was out in 91. We was talking about police brutality, and that was stuff that, like, what you were saying going on out the front door, you know what I mean? A lot of stuff like that, and crime and poverty and all.
Like, you know, like, we were all mad into Bob Marley and all.
Yeah,
but, like, Bob Marley's songs, fucking back then, are more relevant today than they were then, you know what I mean?
World,
what's happening now, you know, there's so much trouble in the world and all. Like, the world is fucked, man.
Redemption song, that's one of my favourites from Bob Marley.
Yeah,
like how long said they killed the prophets? What was it, sorry?
Tupac as well was way ahead of his time.
I think 100%. What separates Tupac with a lot of the rappers, because Biggie and Tupac are incredible. I love all that music. But Tupac was like a healer, like a proper artist. Like he knew, right, I'm going to do something super emotional and I can heal people that's from the gutter. And I took a lot of learning from that when I was younger. Because obviously, Tupac was like Jesus to us when I was about 13, 14. Because I remember someone said it to us, says, your gaff used to be like a shrine for him. Because I had all the posters hanging around the room and bleeding, all the CDs and all. And then as I started getting more into hip-hop, it was like, all the other posters went up and, you know, all the other pictures and all. I just fell in love with hip-hop. That just became me bleeding daily routine, you know what I mean? Waking up in the morning, headphones on, or bleeding, you know what I mean? Banging a few tunes and loving it, you know what I mean?
Across, fucking, the rap, like, back then is like...
I heard you mention Onyx, and the other youth I didn't know.
Yeah.
Onyx, like that's, you know what I mean? Like
you know that song they have, Bring Him Out Dead? Did you ever hear that one?
Yeah, Bring Him Out,
it's
bring him
fucking,
out,
you know what I mean? Some of the lyrics in it, you're listening, these blokes are fucking
just
grimy,
grimy, they're from Queens and New York, so you can imagine what the environment was like for them, that's so wild and all, you know what I mean? So, and then I think that's what a lot of people got to misconstrue that with hip-hop, because obviously you're keeping it real, but you're still just bringing the essence of where you're from to the limelight, you know what I mean? Because even like I was watching the documentary with Big L, and mind you, we have a tattoo of Big L. He was New York. He's one of the best MCs in the world, in my opinion. He died at age 24 from Harlem. He was very underground, but his lyricism was miles ahead of a lot of people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right, yeah.
And he got shot dead, he did, bleeding. And just the flows that he used to come with, and you know what I mean? It was just incredible. And just like the likes of himself, and it's unbelievable. And like his brother was actually saying in an interview, sorry, I was getting caught up just talking about what his talent and all. But his brother was saying was that obviously the stuff was going on in Harlem, but he, like, what he was rapping about was a lot what was going on. Like people taking every single bit of the music, literally, like, you know what I mean? Without, because I know people say keep it real, but you have to remember, you're doing art as well. So if there's lads like that out fucking shooting and robbing cars and doing all mad shit, and you're reflecting that. You know what I mean? So it's going to come across in the music. But like you said, that's what's all relatable to it, is that, you know what I mean?
What's happening?
Like, what's real, and they break it down, stuff that's going on. And
someone should start rapping about all the immigrants sitting around the city centre drinking beer. That'd be a bleeding hit, you know what I mean? We know who boy I am chewing, don't we?
Oh, Jesus,
But no, that's a different issue. We touched on that, but look at here.
I saw that with the
Keith. Keith was a good guest, Keith, you know?
Yeah, it is.
He was
a lot of interesting stuff.
Free flowing, you know. But you know, we wanted to deal with him, right? He has a horse, right? So we wanted to dress him up in all in his tweed, right? And get the horse and then jockey the horse into the lane and jump off to come in, you know, like going to the late show or something, you know.
But what are you saying?
We hadn't got a budget for that.
Runs businesses and all, is it?
He's what did he say? Was it playing?
Asked what he was.
Yeah, but he said what he was. He did say what he did. It's something to do with hotels and playing.
Right, he runs properties.
Accountant for the hotels, or accountant something for hotels.
That's the few spirits,
you know what? I need to take more of that creatine. But here, look it. He knows what he does. And whoever watched the podcast that week knows what. Yeah, watch it again. Well, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it later on and see what he does.
Oh, damn, yeah.
But so and you have your own clothing company?
Yeah, do a load of bleeding clothes there myself. Costello clothing. It's bleeding.
Yeah,
I've been doing it the last few years. But,
get on this.
Yeah, a load of stuff on the website. You can buy it. It gets mailed out there and all. And a lot of the stuff is made exclusively for it. So I have a supplier out in Asia. So I designed this myself. Like obviously this is all, no. I had the pictures now. Nah, the place of top.
I'm only buzzing, bro.
No, because I had to make sure. No, because this is the thing.
Yeah.
Why I went into clothes in the first place.
Yeah.
Was because usually all I wore was Nike and Adidas or Reebok or whatever. You know what I mean? All the normal brands through the years and all. But part of me just got fed up with it because I was thinking, like, you can't tell or not if it's from a sweatshop. You read on the back of them and it's saying bleeding. On the tags and it's saying it's made in bleeding Taiwan or it's made in Vietnam. And I saw a few documentaries a few years ago that with the likes of Primark and where they were getting the stuff made and bleeding, the factories were collapsing and bleeding, hundreds of people dying and thousands injured, you know what I mean? And it's like they're hushing it up, so it's like the Primark or whatever, they set up a mother company and so they have it in another name then. Right. And so if anything happens then, it doesn't fall back on them, it doesn't ruin the brand, you know what I mean? So a lot of that stuff, that's what made us sick, that thinking, like, you know what I mean? Because a lot of stuff that is in the world. So I had to make sure that I found a good supplier like that bleeding like they have a super factory over there. It's like a sportswear sort of place, but they can make anything that you want, you know what I mean? So we pretty much drew this up myself. Obviously, like the working class logo was already made. But like just the little designs and, you know, stuff like that, they're getting out literally a pen and page and just fucking scribbling with a few markers and all, and just bleeding making it like that, you know what I mean? That's the design, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'll give you the contact for them to bleeding if you want to look into it.
We should get onto this. What do you reckon?
Deals, you know what I mean?
Where's my marketing department?
Yup.
You over there?
Take the notes.
He's over there eating them bleeding Maltesers.
Yup. I hear what's the sus with San Pellegrino? You need to sponsor Billy Big Balls. #1 podcast in Dublin, #1 podcast in Ireland. Man is taking over, so yeah, check that. You know what I mean?
Get on
just
it.
Yeah.
And anybody else that wants to bleed, wants us to sponsor them, jump on the bandwagon. We'll wear hats. We wear knickers, we wear bras and all, you know.
Shout out Summers. I hope you're getting a few females in there.
Yeah, we're getting these. We're getting someone in, yeah.
There's a few females coming in, yeah, because it wouldn't be bad to get a few.
Boards. Yeah.
But look, you say there's a nice Dublin board. That.
I see the Dublin accent.
But that board there, what's her name, bleeding? There's a few singers there. You know where Christy Dignam's daughter, she does the singing. Yeah. I think her name's Kira. I'd say she'd be brilliant if you reached out to her, yeah. Don't know now if she's busy with gigs or anything, but...
you want to get Kneecap on?
Kneecap, yeah, Jesus. Yeah, that's mad, all the shit going on.
You'll get on to Billy Big Balls podcast, boys. You'll love it. We don't censor fuck all. You don't have to worry about the Brits coming in and dragging you out of here. None of that shit. Billy Big Balls podcast, want you on. Yup. I'll wear my tricolour for that day.
Yup. And a bally.
And a bally. Oh, yeah, if you have the ballies, bang, big time. You know what I was going to do? I was going to get these two blokes on. And with them ballies, I won't tell you. I'm going to leave it for another time because they have that, look.
Man.
I don't want to say too much.
Yeah. Keep it exclusive.
Get them into trouble, you know.
Right, shit on. You know what I mean? 100%.
No, nothing sinister or anything, you know. Just. Anyway,
probably have the few guard bleeding people watching it, you know what I mean? Taking notes
100%,
depending on who you get on.
What's that Irish Town Garda station are on the bleeding thing? What's in this? Billy Big Balls. Don't worry, boys, your days are coming. I'm going to have loads of shit about you cunts. Stay tuned. Actually, the old Bill out of the bleed, they're probably all dead now. Fuck's sake.
Way.
I'll tell you one thing.
Fucking bad years ago, didn't he?
Man.
So I remember back in the 90s, I was only a kid, but I remember saying, like I was saying, that the police brutality, that they fucking used to break young fellas up and that made them even worse than that they I'll
give you a story, right, from Waring's End years ago, right? This is how they were cunts, they were, right? But we were acting the bollocks, right? We were sitting down on Cambridge Road, right, and fucking, they went by in the car, you know, if you whistled at them, they used to go mad. Remember everyone used to whistle at the old Bill? They used to get freaked, you know. I think it was a bleeding, you know, slagging them for being a taxi. I don't fucking know, right? Anyway, we whistled them when they went by, right? And they came back and they were getting someone to get in their car. Someone said, yeah, fucking scumbag or whatever, you know? But they came over, right? And I was standing there. I was at the sign, right? They came over and a bloke that was sitting with us, they leaned over into his face and says, you're a smart cunt, didn't you? And gave him a clatter across the face. Your mum was like, I'm going to batter you, Billy, when they go. Fuck's sake. But they fucking... Another time we were in the park in Rings End, right? This was fucking mad, right? The blade and some bloke kicked the ball and they hit the car, you know? And the copper jumped out and went like that, you know, to give him a box. And your mum went to give him a box back. And the copper goes, come on, fucking hit me now. And your mum was like, yeah, I'll hit you. You bleed and get me nicked and all. And he goes, no, I won't. He started taking his badges off, right? Puts them into the car. There was another police car coming into the park. He said, told it to fuck off, basically, you know? So he wants to have a strainer off your man. Your man battered him. Battered him, didn't he? And the copper was all shaking now like that, all like this. And there was little kids, you know, playing football, and they were like to the copper, you're after getting battered and all by fucking such a body, you know? But a couple of days later, your man was bleeding, walking down Irish Town. Next one, the car pulled in, dragged him in, bring him off somewhere, kicked the bollocks out of him.
Jeez,
that was like, that was the norm. You like, when you got nicked, like, you were getting battered, you know.
Oh, Jesus,
but they were just fucking, see down where I lived, they were just, I don't know whether you probably were. We were, everyone was a little bastard, you know. So, we probably deserved most of the things we got, you know. Looking back now, you know, like, now people say now, the kids are mad and all. They hadn't no bollocks. They're nothing compared to what we were.
Oh, years ago, yeah, Jesus.
They're nothing like, I know there is youngsters out there doing mad shit and all, you know, but, like, in general, like, we used to play and just...
Did you ever see a Halloween, young fellas bleeding, driving rob cars through the bleeding bonfires and all?
We did it.
You used to all do that shit. I
remember one time we were in the stadium, right? Remember it was like it's a big gym now, right? But it was just like a fucking like a running track that just got neglected, and there was like a pitch in the middle of it, and there was all steps now, like a coliseum.
Yeah.
There's all steps all around it, and there was a hill then, right? I remember being sitting there at one Halloween, you know, fucking someone was saying, "Do anyone hear the car?" Next minute, the car came over their heads and straight onto the bonfire. Someone get overlocked, you know what I mean? Playing fucking mad, like on Halloween, like.
It wasn't a bonfire. Wasn't a car
if there wasn't a car on it, it wasn't a good bonfire. Like it was like the things that fucking. Oh man, remember like we used to be playing, flying around, you know, mopeds, like you know the way they're robbing the motorbikes, the pipe-powered motorbikes now and all, you know. We used to be barely able to drive a moped, you know. But I remember years ago we were in the park, flying around. I remember playing thing, smashed his leg. Got flying around on the mopeds, you know. And there's one bloke on the moped driving it, and another fella on the back. Now his legs were out, and you know the benches. But the benches, like now, I don't know what the fuck they're made out of, but they were made out of concrete and playing wood. But the base of them was concrete. And your man was flying along, next minute his leg, bang, off the fucking concrete thing. His leg, he's like, remember when he came out, he had like a scaffolding thing on his leg, remember?
Jesus.
He was fucking, you want to see him, I tell you, I don't know how his bleeding leg didn't come off, but we used to be acting up bollocks, robbing cars and fucking, you know, everything, you know. Bloke I work for says, I seen him yesterday, right, and I says to him, I have a podcast out, you know, just telling him, and he goes, what's it called? And I said, Billy Big Balls. He just started laughing, right, and he goes, I'll keep an eye out for it. There's some anniversary in the shop that opened 10 years, right, so they're all there getting their photo taken today, and I seen him, and he goes, I watched your podcast, I'm up to episode 4, fucking brilliant, yeah, Billy, you're fucking deadly, right? And I was like, Jesus, thanks very much, you know, I didn't think he'd be into it, you know, and he goes, yeah, fucking really good, you know, and I says to him, and he goes, remember you told the story about the Olympic ballroom? He goes, I used to work in there when I was a young fella, behind the bar, but they didn't sell alcohol, they sold like 7-Up. He said some bloke came in one night, you know, and took a 7-Up, drank it and poured the other one over his head, you know. But it's crazy, you know.
Yeah.
You end up you work for some bloke, bang, he was in a club probably the same time as you were in it.
Was you saying that was you that poured the 7-Up?
Well, that's what I said to him, that could have been me. Yeah. More than likely, you know. Like fucking hell. Or the raves were playing. We have to touch on the raves a bit more, I think, you know. The rave scene was unreal, man.
I was a bit young for them, but my cousins and a few people around the way told us the scenes at the Temple Theatre and all, and fucking...
Yeah, no, this is before all that, you know.
Right.
Yeah, this is... I'm going back, like... The only really place there was Sides, wasn't there? We never went there, right, to be honest with you.
The Olympic?
We went to the Olympic and that was it, you know. And like later on, a few years later, the Asylum and all was on, but before all that, it was just the Olympic. But I remember one time we went to the Olympic, right? There's a few people going around saying, oh, listen, I tell you, there's a rave on after this in a industrial estate in Lucan or something like that, right? So we were all like, yeah, everyone's going around, look here, it's a £10 ticket. So we're all like, no, we're only bleeding youngless, we didn't have loads of money, you know, I don't think any of us had a job, you know. But we found money to get yokes at the weekend, right, for some reason anyway, right?
What yokes were you?
Oh, they would have been like Doves and fucking Dennis the Menace and like 25 pound a pop, you know.
Jesus.
So we're in the Olympic, right? So everyone's going around, the little room was going around, right? Listen, there's a blading thing on in Lucan. So we all blading piled on. They had a coach, a 10 out of head. The blading coach was rammed, right? We all flew down, went into this like, it was like an old industrial estate. I don't even know what the fuck it was, you know. But we were all bleeding over. We popped the NASA and all on the way down, you know. So we were bleeding whacked, right? We went in, goes into the fucking, the rave. There's a DJ there, they have a strobe light, you know, but nothing else. This was like industrial, like a fucking mad fucking thing, mad scene, you know. Anyway, what happens? A security guard or something came in, you know, just looking around. Everybody, here's the guard and the place is getting raided. Shut everything down. Everyone legged it. The coach blew off, right? So there's like about 100 people in the middle of Lucan, in the middle of nowhere. I think it was Lucan.
And everybody out of their head as well, I'd say.
Whacked over, right? And whoever organised the thing, they're gone, you know, there's nothing. Anyway, we're walking home, and there's like heads from Ballyfermot, fucking Clondalk, and fucking everywhere. It all used to go there, you know. Fucking Drimnagh, fucking Crumlin, everywhere. But we're walking along, you know, next minute you hear, like, you know, we're walking past gaps, you only hear something, windows getting smashed. Next minute, cars going blown by. Flying up besides all rob cars. Here, we're going back to Bally. Do you want to lift? Going to lift here. We were like, we're going to Ringsend. And there's nobody else going to Ringsend because it's only us. And we had to walk home.
No way.
We had to walk all the way home, right? And the road just went to like, no one here, but like the road just went forever. And we eventually got down as far as Bladen. What's that big fucking train? Euston Station, is it? We got to Euston Station and we got thinking, we still have a big fucking walk all the way down there Bladen Keys, right? And not only that, the bloke that was with us, he had a warrant. So we couldn't walk down through Ringsend, so we had to walk over the north side and then over the East Link and then down into Ringsend. Oh man, we must have been walking for about 6 hours. It was, yeah. Big time.
Walked everywhere.
We walked everywhere. We didn't have any fucking money to buy a car or a blade and nothing, you know. I think one time Frankie had a blade in a Honda 50. I think everybody in the area was using that.
We had a fucking ban on that, right, for 10 years. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Went in to get me licence and they told me I'd been banned for 10 years and I couldn't get a licence for 3 years. And still to this day my insurance is playing this way. Wasn't me.
Over that bike?
Some cunt fucking
yeah.
took my name when he took me bike. You used to just leave it for the people just to take.
Everyone be going off scoring somewhere, next minute he'd be gone. He'd be over scored, next minute Frankie's boy could go by and he'd be like, who the fuck is that? The helmet would go up, it's not even him. Like, everybody used it, didn't he? Fucking, back then it was mad, like, nobody gave a bollocks, like, you know, nobody had fuck all, we just played. And
What period of time would that have been like?
It would have been like fucking, that would have been the 80s, wouldn't it?
The 80s, right, no way.
Yeah.
For the raves.
89.
I know, talking about the raves, eh?
Yeah,
sorry, that would have been 89, 90.
Right.
Yeah, around that, yeah. Because I remember, I always remember this bloke, right? He was kind of, before everybody in the crew, he went off and tried these yokes, you know. Went to the Olympic or something, you know, with some boy from uptown or whatever. Anyway, we were all getting them there and we were saying to him, what do you like, you know? And he goes, you just come up. And we were like, oh no, yeah, but like, what's the feeling like? Oh, it's like, it's, he couldn't explain it to us, like, and we were thinking to ourselves, did you even take one? And he was like, he was popping them going off playing Raven, you know, before us, you know. But we took one. Man, never felt anything like it in my life. It was the best feeling ever. Like, I'm not going to say, you know the way you hear people say, it's better than sex? They must be having sex with the wrong people. You know what I mean? Because nothing's, you know, not nothing. But you know what I mean? So, like, people do say, make that reference about thing, it's better than sex. You must be having sex with the wrong people. It's not better than sex. But it's good. But the years, the feeling, it's just... Now I can't explain it. Now I know how your mom felt when we were asking him, you know? You just feel like you're in a big bubble.
In love.
And everybody's deadly. You're the business. You ever go, like, you go back from a session after being out popping yokes, and the next day you're in the gaff and you have to be talking all night, you know, the next day you're looking around thinking, who the fuck are these people?
The talking starts
everyone starts start, you know, everyone's coming down off them.
Getting awkward with each other,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah, everyone's looking around going, right, I'm getting out of here before someone starts kicking off, you know. But yeah, some experience, man. So do you want to tell us a bit about your music then?
Yeah, Jesus,
you're the best rapper in Ireland.
Ah, jeez, I wouldn't say that myself now, but
well, you
had
know,
to play the humble one, but jeez, nice one.
Yeah,
nice
no, 100%.
There's a lot of brilliant lads out there, and you know.
We had a rapper on last week, was rapping your tune.
Amazing, yeah, seeing that he was rapping one of the tunes, Ragnar the Gangster.
That's
so
right, yeah.
Jeez, fair play to him, yeah. Mason's a cool young player. There's gangs of Irish rappers now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gangs of them. But yeah, it was in the crew actually. That's when I first started off, like when releasing music was with Lunatic, GI, For Real, and then we had Moss Chops and John Doe producing for us and all, a few other lads, and we were street literature. So a lot of the music I have it still saved as Costello is street literature, or Lunatic is street literature, or For Real is street literature, because there's that much bleeding names out on the streaming sites, you know what I mean? Just to have our unique tags. There was already bleeding a couple of Costellos and all. There's a bleeding Spanish Costello, and then there's a French Costello.
Hola.
I think there's a Colombian Costello. Oh, rapping, that's what I was like saying days all over through the years that I was thinking, what the fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just to give it an extra bleeding unique twist on it, it's Costello with street literature. But yeah, doing albums the last few years. Done a few gigs, playing support verse to one of the trail in.
Yeah, that's where I met you.
Playing, that's where, the tail was playing, having a smoke out the back. Yeah, that was good crack, yeah.
Coolio, yeah, he was some character, wasn't he?
Jeez, God bless him, yeah.
Yeah,
it's sad to think that he's gone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But jeez, God bless to the verse toy lads, because giving us the opportunity. I played twice with them. I only done the second time I was only up for the tune, because I had the tune with them. Ballymun 2001.
Oh, right,
so they got us up
to
do a bleeding guest appearance for the second show they done the 3 Arena.
Yeah,
but then fair play to their manager Jules, because the game cancelled. He was meant to be playing with Ice Cube in Cypress Hill. I don't think he cancelled his passport. He wasn't allowed into Ireland or something, because he caused a bit of ruckus at his last gig or something. Or whatever it was, so we couldn't get into Ireland. And we just on short notice, and your man Jules hit us up just saying, oh, you free on Friday night or whenever the gig was for Ice Cube Cypress Hill. I was like, yeah, what's up? Says, look, game's not coming, blah, 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 blah. Do you want to do a set? And like, this is like literally a day or two before it and all. I was in working on myself, so I was like, you know what, fuck this. So, just made sure that I was able to get in for it, but that was good crack, you know what I mean? That 3 Arena, like, it's one of the biggest venues in Ireland, seeing that the lads sold out and all that time was bleeding phenomenal, you know what I mean? Like, the size of the crowd and just some buzz, you know what I mean?
When we were doing it the first time, when it was all over, you almost had to wreck my fucking head that much, that fucking cunt. Right? She had to piss me off that much, right? That when the gate opened, someone opened the gate, you know, fucking, they were bringing a van in or something. We're outside talking to Coolio, and the gate opened. I said, it's down to the street, and your man goes, yeah. I said, yeah, I'm out here. I just legged it, right? And when I walked out onto the blade, the key, I was like, what are you doing? Everyone's there going, oh, look at this, Billy and all this, right? And I was like, I'm not Billy. And I was walking along and some fella says to me, you wanted to be on stage, wasn't you? And all. I said, no, I wasn't. He goes, I recognise your runners. Fucking hell, man, he wouldn't leave me alone. Couldn't get over the fucking bridge, back into Rings End.
Yeah, I can imagine, it was
we went back to Rings End, then everyone's in Sally's. I was played, and it was a mad night. It was like...
Oh, the whole gang, the lads, the Rings End lads, because I would have met the few other lads and all, J.O. and
Baba and all, I have to get him on here.
There's gangs,
He'd be a good
Instagram, there's gangs of lads.
Yeah.
Played in Baba Chimp, and
J Council, yeah.
It's 2 lads that sound, like all the lads, that's what I noticed with the whole gang of the lads, like, because when I started seeing them, that there was like, oh, you're your man from the video and all, and, you know, like, bleeding just when you're meeting them backstage at the gigs and all, and I was like, that the crowd that's around, like, like, super sound lads, you know what I mean? And it's like, if they're having a smoke, have a smoke. If they're having a drink, have a drink with us, you know what I mean? Or if it's any other refreshments, come on in here with us, you know what I mean? So they always made it feel right at home,
listen, you know.
One love, lad, for us is a hospitality, the Rings End crowd.
That's what they say about people.
And you said, Billy, you know what I mean?
No problem, bro. That's what they say about people from Rings End, isn't it? The salt of the earth.
Oh, sound chaps, definitely.
And Irish Town, sorry.
Fingless lads as well.
Fingless, there we go.
I'm from Blanche now, so there's a few good heads in Blanche.
Right, okay,
you know what I mean?
listen here. It can't be everywhere. It's only rings
I'm from all over, you know what I mean? I was playing first in Dunlecarney, then I went to Blanche, then I went to Fingless, and then played in down the Sticks, and then back and forth to go a bit. Yeah, been around a bit, yeah.
I thought you might have got a bit of a nosebleed coming out to the south side, you know what I mean?
I was rolling in the couch ourselves, you know what I mean? So we're rolling deep, it's all good.
That's what we picked you up.
Billy has the bleeding cocaine white Mercedes, he's bleeding.
Picked them up
proper
in the
leather
and all,
inside
you know?
and all, you know what I mean? Whopper jammer. Yup.
That's it, that's how we rock now, you know? Any guests getting picked up from the train station, we picked up by Billy in the Mercedes.
Yup. Legend.
100%. So, anything in the pipeline?
Yeah, I just dropped an album there back in May, Hip Hop Insomniac. But mind you now, I haven't released any music since 2020. So
any reason?
There's a bit. I was just walking and I was sort of holding off it because I was still making tunes. So right. I have over I think there's still about 30 there that I've released an album there. So there's about a few gone on that, 17. But I have a good 30 still there that to put on future albums and some future projects. But I was just doing all that shit with me gaffing on, my man's gaffing, had a few other things we're working on. So I had to sort of just. But I haven't released them, but like I said, I've been working on it, so I have it all recorded and mixed and all, and just still to release it. So I usually like to stay a few steps ahead in the music sense that, like, you know what I mean, have a bit of stuff to work on and then plan videos and, you know what I mean. So I'm going to be doing a video on your way now on the 19th of July. There's an all city jam, all the graffiti heads are coming out, so there's going to be like over 100 graffiti artists in Dublin, and they have 5 locations. I think one of the main ones is Ringsend. Yeah. So one of the fellas, Vince, Kev, he's doing the bleeding thing. I think it's close enough and anyway to, I don't know, I think it's just past the bridge.
River there, is it?
I think it's just beside the bridge there, yeah, they have like a wall there somewhere and they have it designated for all the artists.
We had one for some fella that got killed, I think, there a while ago, was it? He had like a picture of him on the wall.
Ah, no way, right.
That was a rapper or something like that.
Right, jeez, no way, because I know it's Little Red's birthday today. He's a young fella that passed away.
Yeah.
God bless was out with Joe and his Mark Karen, because they do a lot of stuff for him, because he was one of the uncles that passed the sepsis. So Zelfla and his Mark, they're on an all-out campaign, like spreading sepsis awareness. You know, when you see the ambulance going past and they'll have sepsis on the side of it and the signs of it and all, because there's so much people dying from it and people don't understand how easy it is for your body to have it. And
and it's like
it's within a short space of time that you have to act rapid, you know what I mean? So. But yeah, God bless to Little Red. God bless to Reese Wild as well. He was a producer, rapper, and he passed in 2020. So there's a few in Lunatic as well, of course. But jeez, God bless to all the lads, poets.
It's mad the amount of people that played. You know, when you're like in life, you just die around you. You know?
Yeah, along the way. Yeah.
Years ago when we were playing, you know, the key or whatever, you know, fucking a mate of mine died, man. It was like, you know, you never think it's going to hit you, you know. Yeah. You think, you know, when you hear people dying, it's never that close to you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this fella was like, man, he was like the nicest fucker you'd ever meet. And he never changed. When he was a kid, he was a lovely bloke. When he was older, he was always a nice fella. No matter when you meet him, like I didn't see him for a few years, but we fell out, we just
so
went their separate ways, with drugs and shit like that, you know. But he was a fucking diamond. And then years later, for some reason he or whatever, and he played in the he fell and he hit his head off the toilet pot or something, you know, and he played in, like, he went into like a coma. But I remember playing, getting a call off, like, these are mates like I hadn't seen in years. They rang me, you know, and said, listen man, things in hospital, he's fucking, and I was like, it was mad, you know. But you know, when you get a group of blokes together, things are bored as well, like, and you're thinking about things from years ago, and we start laughing, right? Just you know, we are laughing about things that we did years ago, whatever, and we are coming up in the lift, right? This was fucked up, right? We're coming up in the lift, right, and we're just about to get to where he is. He's in a coma, like, you know, and the blading lift door is open, and we're all breaking our bollocks laughing, and his family are there. And it was like, what the fuck? We're like that, pressing the button, you know, close that door, you know. And the door closed and we went back down. But when we came back up, his man on, she was like, listen, his mates, like, Jesus.
Yeah, just remember
You
him.
weren't laughing at him,
yeah.
like, you know, we all just laughing about stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But he didn't make it, you know.
Ah, jeez, God
It
bless
was a
him.
blade, nah, man, tell you.
Shout out to Aj, man.
Shout out to Aj, yeah.
Rest in peace.
Diamond he was, man, a bleeding diamond. You know what I used to do years ago, right? I used to be mad at having a few joints and be paranoid the bits about walking home and all. He used to walk me home and all. Walk down to me gaff. We'd get down to Iristown, have a joint down there, and then he'd just walk home and all. Yeah, he was a bleeding, I'm telling you. This fella was a one-off. Just a genuine nice guy, you know. And anybody that you know that met him, they'd all say the same, you know. You know the way everybody has a different opinion. People probably say, see him, he's a scumbag. See him, he's a prick. All about me, you know. But look here, who cares? But him, you'd be like, nah, he's a bleeding diamond. He's cool and all, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's a little tribute to Aj there, you know. But yeah, so getting back to the rapping.
Yeah,
So like,
got a few experiences through the years, and anyway.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, I was still working full-time jobs all over the last few years. I've worked in delis, I've worked in bleeding fucking UPS, you know what I mean, loading vans and shit like that. Bleeding in an office job now, you know what I mean, if you can believe
an
that.
Office job?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Proper, you know what I mean?
Fucking hell, you wear that, is that your uniform?
Do you know what's gas? People wear it in hoodies. I was thinking at first when I was going in that was like, oh, the best get a suit and bleeding, or at least a bleeding short and jeans, and you know what I mean? And people just wear them whatever. And someone said it to us that like, look, they're not like, it's a lot different these days than like, compared to what it was. Like people don't discriminate that you wouldn't have got a job somewhere if you had a tattoo. Whereas if you don't have a tattoo, you probably won't get the fucking job now these days. You know what I mean?
We used to have to hide out, not a tattoo, like you wouldn't get a job. We used to have to lie where your address was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You wouldn't say you were from Links End, you were looking for a job. You'd never get it.
Yeah.
Like we were like, and now like that's why I find it so fascinating about Links End. It's all built up, all gaps. People are paying a fortune to get into the place.
Just cause the location.
Yeah,
you know
like
what I mean?
years ago they were paying a fucking fortune to get out of it, like, you know. But it's bleeding.
I think everywhere, because over the last, because obviously when you think before the 2000s, because I was born in the late 80s, so I was a 90s kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just when I think all the shit, like, because all the fields and all, that I was out like bleeding in Mulhurrity and Blanche, you know what I mean? When I was about 6. So all that was after my estate was bleeding fields for miles. If you go up there now, like for miles on end, you have all houses built up, you wouldn't recognise it at all to what it was like when I was a kid. Yeah. And then all the bleeding, they used to have a spot down there, the Frogs Pond, and it was an old closed off road, and they had an other road that was closed off. They called that the Hollywood Stretch, and then it was the second park with all the football pitches, so all the lads would have the cars and the motorbikes and all, you know what I mean? Yeah. I know it's gas, even like the way I was saying, like the kids back then were a lot worse. For what they were doing, because they didn't have fucking PlayStations and all the shit in the gaff, they didn't have fucking phones, iPhones or nothing. So they were out and about, you know what I mean? And there was nothing to do. That's
we were never in their gaps. Yeah. Like we were out all the time, you know,
all the
like
time, especially at
all
summer.
Day, every day. We used to, remember the dad came fucking along, like, that was when we were young, you know, it was a bleeding new thing, everyone was like, yeah, let's get on the dad, you know. We used to fuck off out the Bray, we'd be out there all bleeding day. You'd be coming home, you only coming home bleeding, well, we wouldn't be starving, we'd just rob whatever we want.
Oh, guys, yeah.
You'd be going into bleeding. I remember one time fucking this one, we were bleeding, she had like a little restaurant or something like that. She's like, you're out in the middle of nowhere. And they were like, yeah, if you bring in the tables and chairs, I'll give you a fucking lemonade and bleeding cakes, you know? we were little bastards. We got the lemonade and the cakes and we fucking threw the bleeding bottles fucking through the window or something.
No way.
We were little, you know, when I think back of the stuff we did, we were little bastards.
It's all part of growing up.
It is all part of growing up. Now here, I'm nothing like what I was back then. Like even like 20 years ago, like it's totally different. Like, you know what I mean? More than 20 years ago. Like I'm more fucking gear about 20 odd years, probably 25 years, and the coke about 15 years. You know, it's like, yeah. So
still have the odd gargle. I heard you saying you just the odd time, is it?
I just have like a bleeding, maybe once a week. Sometimes, like there last week, Sunday, it was lovely out. I'm bleeding, a mate of mine says to me, hey, do you want to go for a beer? And we actually went to the IH, right, and it was too fucking hot. we couldn't even sit outside it. Like, we're like, get the fuck out of here. So we went up to the Beggar's Bush, had a drink up there and chilled out. It's like, but it's very seldom, you know what I mean? I go out, like, you know, when people say like, people used to say to me, oh, you're bored and like, you don't do anything, you know what I mean? I had such a fucked up life that I don't want to do anything now.
Yeah,
I don't want
to,
you know, I just want to chill out, you know, even when fucking, you get into like, I just have one of these heads that people start on me or whatever, you know what I mean? But I try to diffuse things straight away. I don't even want to argue with people. I don't want to fight with people. I just want to get on with my life and like chill out. And people think that's boring. Okay, it's boring. I'm happy with that, you know? You're not in the loop, you're not in the fucking...
You're just doing your own thing.
You're not in anyone's
like
business. Like,
years.
See what's going on here now. Like, in my wildest dreams, I would have never thought I'd be sitting here making a podcast, talking to even famous people like you.
I'm not famous,
Well, you know,
very
you're
underground,
fucking,
you know what I mean?
well, like here, anybody who knows Irish rap knows that you're the business, you know what I mean?
That's it,
like, I work with Brazilians, and they were saying to me one day, you know this guy, you know this? I said, I know him, I did a gig with him, I fucking love this guy and all. Yeah, 100%, like, you know? But, so, like, if people think, you know, yeah, you're bored, I'll take that on the chin. I'm bored and I'm happy. You know,
I've been doing that for years,
know?
that, you know, when people would be out drinking or going off clubbing,
yeah.
I'd be sitting at home drinking the cups of tea, having a few smokes and writing. I'm writing and I was just counting it the other day that I have close to, I think nearly over 200 tunes, not all of them released. I have about 170 songs released, but then another bleeding, like them ones in the catalogue.
That's so melts, man.
That's what, like, because like what you're saying, it's what I love doing.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
you do whatever
live
you
whatever
want
you want to do,
yeah. You
leave everybody to their own.
And you want to
what I mean?
party all the time, and you want to drink every day, and you want to be drunk all the time, and you want to do that. You do that, like, that's...
Yeah, have fun.
That's your life.
You know
Whatever you want to do. But me, I did all that.
Yeah,
I did all that, took all them drugs, drank all that drink, did all that shit. I don't want to do any of that anymore. I just want to chill out now, take it easy, go to work, go to the gym, do my podcast, get successful, be a millionaire. This time next year, I'm going to be a millionaire.
Meet that board in the lane later on.
Meet that out board in the lane where she even called that dog after me, you know what I mean?
That's how you know you're getting big in the world. Huh?
When she said, here Billy, I was like, yes. Put me on a lead. And she let me chill in the corner.
Legend.
Look, you know.
Yeah,
but that's the crack with me, you know, like, so. But
Gas.
Yeah, the podcast, like, I never thought I'd have a podcast, or never even, you know.
Yeah, it's late.
It's like, you know what? For the last few years, I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me. I wasn't myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, see, skinheads and all, like, that's me. You know what I mean? But fucking, I was growing my hair and I was bleeding. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me. But I'm back.
Back to yourself.
I'm alive now.
Yup.
Alive and kicking. And yeah, like I was saying about things, like, I just walk, go to the gym, have a few drinks the odd time.
It was you, grand.
It was me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, if I found a board that wants to do all them things except going to the gym, I don't like going to the gym with a board. I'd like to go on my own. But anything else, you know. So if there's any women out there, give us a shout.
She catch you checking out the talent, didn't it?
That's it, yeah.
You have to wear the sunglasses in the gym.
Yeah.
So now it's the eyes going.
Fucking. If they let me, they won't let me wear the. I never actually wore me shades. I thought it'd be a bit. It's the gym, like, you know what I mean? You're in there, like, I don't give a bollocks about fucking...
Just doing your thing,
yeah,
like you were saying.
You know what I mean? Like, the shades, like, people... I don't know what... Some people have a mad problem about shades, you know what I mean? Like, the pair of bleeding shades, you wear them... Like, do you know the thing about them is? The prescription. You know what I mean? So I use them, like, for reading and thing. Like, if I was sitting here with a normal pair of shades, I wouldn't be able to see fuck all, you know what I mean? So... That's why I wear the shades.
Daily.
Okay? If you want to, if it upsets you, I don't know what to tell you. What can I say? Anyway, yeah, so let's get back on to you.
Yeah. Keeping it lit.
So, any gigs or anything like that?
Yeah, Yeah, but there'll be that one in June now. Still have to look into doing a few more. Because it was doing loads, and then when COVID came around, me and Craig would only talk about it outside, was that obviously everything was shut down, came to a standstill. So, yeah, like I was saying, because I was making the music, but I wasn't releasing it and like doing videos or whatever. So fucking, yeah, I'm planning now, because, like I said, I have such a bleeding catalogue there to release.
Yeah,
and then a lot of very serious tunes that, like, I was picking out a lot of stuff with history.
Right.
Like say, to do with the Irish famine. They can call it a famine, but then when you look into it, it sounds more like a genocide, that they starved us purposely, you know what I mean? Because there was more food exported out of Ireland than there was people at the time, you know what I mean?
But they wouldn't even let food in.
Ireland had the 7th biggest economy in the world at the time. But how do you think the wealth, whose hands it was in, you know what I mean? Because it was like, it was either British or Anglo-Irish that owned everything, you know what I mean? So if you were Catholic, you barely bleeding own the little acre of bleeding land, and then to even grow your own crops, that was all that you could grow, was the sports. Yeah. But we're saying Ireland had some of the best bleeding meat, some of the best bleeding crops, you know what I mean? And they were all getting exported. That, like, I think when it was showing you the ratio of people to crops, that's what I was thinking, Jesus Christ, there was enough food to feed 19 million people on the island at the time. So pretty much when you think of it like that there's armed soldiers taking the shit off and all. And a lot of people, like, that's where a lot of my bleeding forte I'm starting to see is that, like, a lot of history stuff, because I really loved history since I was a kid. So I've done a video up north before, up in Belfast. It was only like a bleeding day journey up, you know what I mean? But just to get the murals and stuff in the background. Yeah. But page of history, that's bleeding been out a while now. But remember, some young fella was reading a comment underneath it, and some young fella says, like, nice one, Costello, I'm on my way to becoming a secondary school teacher. Says your bleeding song inspired me to learn a lot about Irish history. And he says, I'm on my way to bleeding, I'm in college now, like, studying to be a teacher, you know what I mean? Yeah. To be a history teacher. That's what I was like, holy fuck, you know what I mean? So I was thinking the likes of that get people, like, because a lot of the information, if you can get the information about a lot of stuff and put it into a story or put it into a song.
That's the whole point of the
hit
song,
people, you know what I mean?
Know?
Yeah,
like, you know, some people just listen to, I don't know what they don't. Some people just don't take it.
It goes over their head,
I don't know, you know, personally, like, I've listened to it, you know, listen to everything in it. You know, it's great on your earphones or something like that, you know.
Yeah,
in the
put you in a zone, like that. Definitely.
And you're listening to it, and then you're like, oh yeah, right, yeah. But no, some people miss the message in the songs all the time.
Ah, yeah, you know, and then even with hip hop nowadays, the message has gone out the window. Because compared to what it was like in the 90s and the early 2000s, that a lot of the bleeding hip hop that I came up listening to, that's why I rap the way I rap now. Because if you're trying to learn to rap and people showing you, oh, look at Drake, oh, look at this fella, or that person, it's all garbage. And that's what I'm thinking, is that all these people saying, oh, this is the top rapper in the world, or so and so. I'm like, that's fucking garbage.
Because because
the money and the fame and success and all, but it's literally garbage. And that's what I think, it's pop. Like, hip-hop is fucking gutter, talking about what's going on, whatever it is, and people having their own uniqueness to them, you know what I mean? That's what they're bringing across.
It's life experience, isn't it, really?
Yeah, you know, 100%.
Singing about it. But, like you say now, even like, I wouldn't listen to fucking any other kind of rap anyway, you know? If it's not Irish or it's America, who else is there? There is a bit of English rapper, you know? It's
fairly global, but like, everywhere that have their underground scenes. That's what I'm learning anyway, because I went to a few spots myself. Yeah. Played in I was actually over in Moscow, would you believe, doing a gig. Yeah. And fucking, because I was in a movie, Broken Song, these two women they made a film about was me, G.I. and Willa. And bleeding, they got a big grant from the Arts Council, like fucking big money, you know what I mean? They made a big film. No, they made a film in Ireland, right? But it got shown in the Jameson Film Festival, and it was getting a bit of traction that was shown around the world, you know what I mean? And so I went to Bern, Switzerland, like they invited us over there because they seen us in the film and all, and whatever way they liaised with the people who, the director and all, and producer. And bleeding, they asked me to go over. We went to bleeding 4 countries on the strength of the film. That like to show the film, and then we'd do a little gig and all. One of the place was Russia, you know what I mean? Moscow. I was in Bern in Switzerland. Bern is unbelievable. If you ever get a chance, it's very expensive, but they pay for my hotel, they pay for the flights and all, so and they paid us for the gig, you know what I mean? Yeah. But man, the place is unreal. That's like Amsterdam's clean cousin. Because you know the way Amsterdam's a very old city, you know. Like Bern is even older. It's like a medieval town. Place unreal. This is in Switzerland. And fucking everywhere I was going, I was smelling greenery everywhere. This was like 10 years ago or something. I said, jeez, what's the story with this and all?
They had the thing, didn't they?
I think it's just very relaxed because there was a police station just there.
Yeah.
And there's some fella talking to me and like, oh, here, do you want to puff for that and all? And I was like, Jesus, fucking police. He says, don't worry about it, it's bleeding. They don't care about shit like that and all. And I was like, jeez, this bleeding.
It should be like
lovely,
that
you know what I mean?
It?
Yeah, because when you think about it, like, I think you were saying it previously, is that, like, for smoking a bit of green or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And never mind, like, when you look into the science of it, when it says, like, everybody has an endocannabinoid system. Do you ever hear that?
Yeah.
And like, it can regulate your mood, it can
different
regulate
parts
your...
of your body,
And the neurons can transmit, like, people who have cerebral palsy and the likes of it.
MS.
That can help them with it, you know what I mean? Because it's like, whatever it does with the neurons within your body, it can help them transmit better, like, the signals, so that, like, people who can't move parts of their body, you know what I mean?
Medicine, wasn't it? Like,
It's been used for a long time. And then, like, if you hopefully gets caught with it and then, this going on your criminal record, you're not going to bleed in Australia, you're not going to America. And the gas thing, Americans have to legalise in most places. And then the same with Canada as well.
Yeah.
So then, like, it's a bit of hypocrisy that, like, if you're caught with a bit of green in Ireland, you can't go to bleeding Canada or whatever it could be, you know what I mean? And it'd be nice to see that, just like, because at least everybody gets a fucking... that everybody can have a bleeding.
Yeah, you know what people say, like, smoking weed makes you paranoid. No, it's illegal and the police can nick you. That's what makes you
and
paranoid.
That's what makes you paranoid.
Yeah, it's not the grass, like, you know, it's like, I might get caught here, you know, that's... I don't think, you know, because you never hear the Rastas around getting paranoid, do you?
It's part of our religion.
Yeah, exactly, I mean? Like, they're out in the middle of the jungle smoking, they're not, what are they paranoid about? Being attacked by a lion or something, but other than that, like, you know.
So, when I was younger, when we first started smoking stuff, bleeding, like hash and all, you know what I mean? I was using it like meditation, because like say I had a Wu-Tang album and I'd smoke something, and then I'd lay down on my bed, because it was back with the CDs, you know what I mean? Lay down on my bed, close my eyes, and just wherever the music took me. And I swear the amount of shit I learned about the world from listening to hip hop and the likes, and that was it. That I'd close my eyes. I wasn't looking at a screen or looking at whatever. Obviously, I had MTV, but some of the underground stuff I was listening to, I wouldn't hear any of it on MTV. So. It was like taking you on a proper journey. Like you were saying, if you put on headphones or if you sit beside the radio, you know what I mean?
That's what Marley said about bleeding the weed, didn't he? It says it opens your mind, you know. It gives you a chance for you and your mind to think.
Yeah, put you in bleeding.
Like, put you in it, but like, some of it, like, you know, if you have a bad bleeding, you know, you think some people get fucking start thinking mad, you know.
Yeah, I think because it is a very strong plant.
It does give you it's a good meditation, you know, like you just switch off and go into your own little world, and you can, you know, fix your own head or whatever, you know. But like,
and even when you think the amount of people in the world that would smoke, and say they're far from a criminal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That like people who work regular jobs, they probably don't drink, they play football players and bleeding MMA fighters, whoever it could be, artists, even just regular people that could bleeding, you know what I mean, work in the supermarket there, whatever it could be, and it's like, they'll lose their job, or you know what I mean, like that's the stigma behind it, that like, if they're saying smoking, but then it's alright, like, and it's an Irish thing to do. Obviously I was played drinking when I was younger. I haven't drank now in years. I had a little whiskey played when I was down in Galway, and I swear to God, because I haven't drank in fucking years, my body was shuddering every single sip I took. Because because I hadn't had alcohol in my system for so long, and that's what I was laughing, thinking that like how much people does bleeding alcohol affect, like from all over the board, you know what I mean, rich or poor, you know what I mean? Because I remember I was chatting with a homeless fellow when I was walking in bleeding the deli in the Duns in town, and I became very good friends with this homeless fella. Like some of the stuff, the stories he was telling us was unbelievable, you know what I mean? And how he ended up homeless was even the bigger story. That wasn't like he was born an alcoholic, like he was a normal lad. Him and his board were together. They came across some, I wouldn't want to tell a story, but they had children, and then it turned out that the children passed. They didn't live long because there was something with their blood, genetics, and it was back in the 80s and people wouldn't have known about it. And so they tried to have their first kid, and the child only lived, I think, a day. I think Kirsty, Philip and Dylan, because just thinking if you heard this, I just want them to know that I do keep them in mind, you know what I mean? But the first child, they lost, and then a set of twins after that, they lost, you know what I mean? And he says the two of them had a nervous breakdown, and he says the only thing that he could do was drink and then drugs to suppress it. And that's how he ended up where he was, and that's what I was thinking, Jesus Christ. He says I was a painter and decorator before this, was on my way to bleeding, getting married and having a family and all, and I was like, Jesus, like, And he says, but the way people's looking down on me for being the bleeding, the bum, the drunk, like, you know what I mean? And he says, I'm sitting here, but we have a steady head, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
And he goes, look at this outfit here. And, you know, like, it was in the Duns right beside the George Street there, so you know there's all the bleeding pubs and everything that's all around there, like out the far side, out onto Wicklow Lane, is it, or Wicklow Street, or whatever it is, all around there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
The back of
Stevens Green and all the rest.
Yeah, all around there, there's loads of spaces. And there's some outfit bleeding wobbling out of the pub, but he's in a fucking suit, like, you know what I mean? And he's in the worst state that fucking, you know what I mean, for a Friday evening. And your man saying, that's acceptable. But then people's looking down on me.
Yeah, no.
And the taxi man opening the door for him and all, and your man's falling into the back and all, and you're like...
Society's...
And I just had a, like, what did he call that? A moment of clarity.
Yeah,
that,
man.
like, look at the logic that this fella's telling me and bleeding, shining jails on us. Because I learned the big thing from even just working regular jobs, because I sort of love it, because you meet some of the best people working normal jobs in your day-to-day life, and some of the most interesting people that...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I love that because it keeps you grounded and down to earth.
Yeah.
Because in all the jobs that I've worked in, like fucking working in Duns in the city, there was all elements from Marbo Lane and bleeding, all in the flats and all, you know what I mean?
Real dubs.
Yeah, and they were lovely. I remember having bleeding great talks with a load of them and hearing stuff, their stories and all. And same in UPS, that lot of lads from Ballymun, Finglas, some proper OGs, you know what I mean? That bleeding went through all the shit with prison and all. And some of the nicest people you meet in your life. Yeah. And that's what I was like, holy fuck, that, like... That's where the sort of keeps you bleeding grounded.
That's what I said about on the first episode. Like, some of the nicest people you'll ever meet in your life about like, drug addicts. Yeah. They just... Shit happens, man.
They went through trauma, probably, and that's what led them to...
Nobody knows, you know, what's happening behind the eyes, you know, what's happening in your life. We just say what we say, you know. Yeah. You don't know what's going on.
And people's very judgmental, innit? It's like a human condition to be judgmental. You see someone and straight away you're judging them and you haven't even spoke to them. Like, you know... Because people will be like that with us, because they'll be like, oh, they're scummers, they're fucking...
Oh, no, I know for the fact, right, that people...
Going to rob me bag or something, you know what I mean?
I work for this real bleeding... Not posh shop, but like kind of posh, you know what I mean? It'd be posh to me, like, you know that way? But I was doing a delivery in the lockdown one time, right? And I pulled up to this gaff up in Waterloo Road, right? Walked in. I was after seeing someone going down the steps, so I thought you were downstairs, and I was looking over. Next minute, this bloke comes out in his jocks, you know. Hey, have you got a problem? I said, no, I'm doing a delivery. He goes, shit, man, I thought you were trying to rob the house. I was like, you fucking cheeky bastard, you know.
The like, that's it,
like, I do meet people all the time, you know, and I'd say after, when they see me, and then when they talk to me, I'd say their impression of when they see me and when they talk to me is totally different. Because, like, I know I'll probably look a bit rough or whatever, but I tell you I'm not, you know what I mean? I have a lovely heart.
Oh, you're doing that, really. But no, some of the nice people, like you said, the salt of the earth.
Oh, 100%, man.
You know what I mean? Like I was saying, that even some of the areas that, like, the mass don't get a good enough shout out.
Yeah, 100%.
The Dublin mass, that thing, and like you says, when the uncles were off wild and fucking rob cars and bikes and all, and whatever you could have been doing as a kid down the field and all, and your ma bleeding be cooking for you. Yeah. She bleeding, you know what I mean? She'd doing all this shit, like working full time, probably, or doing whatever she had to, and all this shit. Bleeding. Me dad, he used to be a bleeding bad alcohol, you know what I mean? Yeah. So he would have been bleeding off the pub all the time. So I was there thinking, my ma bleeding raised me and my siblings in that bleeding mad kip that grew up a bit. Yeah. And said, and she worked a full-time job, kept us in school, kept clothes on us and all. I was like, oh my God, that the mass, they need the super players, you know what I mean?
They deserve, man, I'm telling you.
Working class heroes.
My hours should have a medal, man.
Made of different stuff, are they?
Definitely.
Jesus, the Irish women, my God.
They're strong as fuck, yeah.
Oh, God bless them, yeah. Because lunatics, mother, God bless her. Because I had that tattoo there, so I had to show out that. I had to give out Bernie and Bob a shout. Bob's lunatic's brother, you know what I mean?
Bob's A1, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one MC lunatic, Daniel McDonald. But, yeah, Jesus, my Bernie, she's one of the nicest women you'd ever meet. I was still there, be chatting with her fairly regularly, you know what I mean? But, she's lost a lot of people, you know what I mean? But she's still the nicest. Yeah. Like, say if you're up in the gaff and she'd be, a cup of tea on for you. I remember she used to always make us an egg sandwich when I'd be dropping up the bar. Oh, Jim, you're a veggie, hold on. Get you an egg sandwich there and all, a bit of toast and all. Yeah, I'm a veggie about 11 years or something, real Rasta man, you know what I mean? The principles don't eat the animals, you know what I mean? I know it's been a while now, about 11 years I haven't gone near to me.
I can't say, I
did for years before, you know what I mean? Yeah, Jesus. Because a lot of things, because that's where, with the hip-hop as well, that's where they sort of picked it up from, because a lot of people that was looking up to and hearing them rap about it, that they don't eat meat. So obviously when the internet sort of came around then, you can research things a bit more and all. And it's just like, there's different benefits and all, because like I said, I've been veggie bleeding 11 years and still feel fairly fit, you know what I mean? Like bleeding, when I was working the UPS jobs, bleeding, I'd be walking, because I had so much time to kill some of the nights, that I'd be walking 3 hours and I'd be taking floats around Dublin, like all around, say I'd go up to Rings End and Pear Street, and then walk all the way to fucking the Liberties. And this before work, you know what I mean? Having a few joints or whatever. But I used to love meeting the bleeding, the foxes. Used to meet the foxes nearly every night at a certain location in Finglas East, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one fox in particular, I have videos on my phone and all. This thing was running straight up as close as you were, say like a few feet away. I was nearly able to throw it in his mouth and all. And just that bond, because I know you were saying with the dog, I had a dog a few years back, but after he passed I wasn't able to replace him, you know what I mean? Because he's like that part of the family. But when we're seeing the fox and just having that interaction that like, you know he trusts you. You know what I mean? And it's like vice versa that like, and I'm meeting foxes, there's no people at all out, you know what I mean? And just like the buzz of that'd be like, this is fucking, that's still existing in Dublin, you know what I mean? So even music when it be
foxes.
I love it. Like bleeding, even when I do
we have badgers down where we live.
Lidl, seen a few badgers when I was out and about.
Like, there I was about bleeding a good few months ago, in the winter it was. But I was standing outside the flats, you know, and I was talking to me mate. When I come back from bleeding, after having a drink or something, you know, with the Wednesday club, you know. And I heard a man, squeaking noise. I was like, what the fuck is that? I looked around, but there's a bleeding badger. It's right beside us, but he was behind the wall. And they walk around, do you ever see the way they walk? They walk like, this is my gaff. Fuck you,
business.
You know? But they're in the flats.
No
They
way.
do be running around the flats. See them, they got your dog, man. They rip your dog apart, they would.
Yeah, they're very vicious.
I tell you, I know someone that had a dog, but they live in the country. And the badger got a hold of the dog, ripped the whole dog's leg off.
Jesus.
Ripped the fucking thing clean off, like, you know?
Yeah.
They're bleeding, they're vicious fucking things, you know? But the foxes.
That's what's mad, because all the territory, like what you were saying, that the fact everywhere is getting built up and all, and there's no space left.
Pushing nature
where they
out.
could have been there for fucking God knows how much years. You know what I mean? That's their breeding grounds, or that's what they're used to.
Yeah, that's where they know where to go. Yeah. I know. Here, listen, it's mad, isn't it? Like you say about Blanche and all the places just. Like I was saying about fucking, we were talking about City West there. I remember being out there years ago. I used to walk in Sagard. And it was like nothing. I think there was 2 pubs, 2 garages and a shop, right? And a church. And it was a real little sleepy little bleeding town, you know? And I remember years later going out and I was like, what the fuck? City West and all, none of that was there, you know? And there was like, between bleeding Sagard and fucking Tallaght, Fortunestown Lane or something it was called. But it was just, literally just like a little road. I went down and I was like, gaps everywhere. Like Tallaght. Like Tallaght, they just played, built that up.
Yeah,
like it was big enough, you know what I mean? But they just,
one of my best mates from Tallaght,
you know?
I met him a good few years later in life, but one of my good mates, he's originally from Tallaght. So that's what's gas, because, you know, when you grow up in an area, and you're sort of used to it, but that's what, because I moved out to Finglas when I was about 16, just before I hit 17, and used to live right beside the big field, because that was my nanny's gaff, and she left it to my uncle, and then I was up living with him for a bit. And bleeding the big field, that was bleeding mental for the cars. And my uncle had the gaff on the corner. I remember just moving in and seeing all the cars and bleeding. I think one of the times one of the lads had a bleeding a Sabo 3, and the thing got a fucking blowout, you know what I mean? This is in like 2004. The thing was a convertible, like it must be proper few grand, you know what I mean? Wherever he got it, he must have done a jump in or something. But then the guard came in chasing him and fucking... I remember then, because it nearly turned into a mini riot, because there was that much people out watching it. This is just on a Saturday, Sunday afternoon, you know what I mean? Your man's out flashing the field and all. And then the guard comes, so he's pulling the roof back up, like whatever, pressing the buttons and all, and painting down the field. And mind you, the thing has a bleeding blowout, you know what I mean? And then he's going up by, I'm trying to think the name of the road that's bleeding. it's still like a proper back road spot, like where close to where the travellers used to, the road to the travellers in Finglas, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
and he's coming up that road there, and fucking, I think
Don't
the guard...
sink, is it?
Yeah, Don't Sink, sorry, jeez, I couldn't remember the name there, Don't Sink Lane and all, yeah. Played in the guard fist-tailed the car or something, and the thing flipped like mad. And then bleeding, the guard were arresting you, man. But the guard bleeding, they end up putting your man in cuffs. Like an ambulance and all the shit had to show up, you know what I mean? But the guard put me in cuffs. Like, they would have to bleed flipping him in the car, and he was only a teenager as well. But like the way he was saying that bleeding. I remember that was the first few days I was in Finglas and seeing shit like that, and I was like, this is exactly like. And then, like you says, all the other shit that you say. But then, like going out, because hip hop is what brought us to all the places around Dublin, you know what I mean? That, like say, like Lunatic and Ballymun, and then a lot of the lads like Reese, he was from Ballymun, rest in peace. My P played in Lingo. He's an actor actually now. Did you ever see a man Lingo? He's the African Dublin young fella, and he's played in, he's in that Michael inside, and he was in Cardboard Gangsters and all. The black young fella. Did you see that film, Cardboard Gangsters? Yeah, man, Lingo, he's got a good little acting career going, because he done rapping as well, but I think he just auditioned for that, and from there he's played and done gangs and stuff, you know what I mean? But,
it's great, it's good, it's good to see them doing well.
And that's what pretty much brought us out to all the spots that, like, mostly along the north side through the bleeding 2010s up onwards, because I made good mates with Jambo, he's a brilliant MC, played in, out in Donaghmede, you know what I mean? Jerry Boy in Killock, you know what I mean? And Fitz and the lads, DCR, played in, gangs of lads, and then of course G.I. and Pat Royce and all the lads in Finglas. So that's what pretty much brought us to all the areas, you know what I mean? That we were all bleeding, making the music. And then of course Rings in that a few times bleeding with the lads, you know what I mean? That like just I think randomly once or twice I was down in Pear Street just doing my thing, you know what I mean? Getting some refreshments down there. And fucking I bumped into all the lads, because me and my mate went up for the bleeding Grand Canal Dock, isn't it? Or Grand Canal Square. What's the name of that one? Do you know right beside Rings End, and it's the fucking...
Oh, where the big bleeding poles are? Grand Canal Square, I think it is. Yeah.
So we were just around there bleeding, grabbing a coffee or whatever, and so we bumped into J.O. and bleeding and Gavin and Steve and a few of the lads.
Right,
just there having a waffle with them and all, but... Yeah, it's dirty, because Dublin's such a small place, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And like, there is so much genuine chaps that, and it's great, because like with the hip hop, it's coming out from everywhere now. Shouts out Rebel Phoenix as well, he's from Palmerstown, he's a brilliant MC. It's just for if anyone's listening and they want to check out some Irish artists that I'd recommend. Jambo, Rebel Phoenix, Little Dialect, for real street literature, of course, I have to give the shouts to my own crowd, G.I., Pat Royce, Sons Phonetic as well. Raw, he's one of the old school MCs. He was rapping back in the 90s. Right. With Scaredy Era. He's unbelievable. You want to check him out. I think he's from Offaly. But the crew, like, they linked up. There was a good few heads. Him and DJ Mac and Browner and the lads. But Scaredy Era, some of the shit, like, they were due to do big things. But I think they were too, like, what you were saying, rough, rugged and raw for the labels. So they sort of bleeding, because I think they done like Crow Park a support for U2 or something. I remember seeing the video. If you look it up online, Scaredy Era support U2 Crow Park or whatever it is, and the lads out rocking it. And I mean, fucking the crowd that was in at it, you know what I mean? I think it was a U2 gig or something. But I think the lads, they were saying it's too wild and rough and rugged, you know what I mean? That was like...
That's a pity, innit?
Yeah, because that's what I mean. I was thinking that if the hip-hop had got a boost like that in the 90s, it would have been in every household, and you would have had a lot more rappers coming up.
That's why we have the podcast the way it is, you know what I mean?
The lads and whoever else is doing it,
you know what I mean? You know what I mean? We don't want... We love all that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I keep it real, innit, where we're from,
like, you know, like... You can... We see people on the thing and all trying to tone down their accent and all. I fucking love my accent. I love the way I talk.
Do you know what I noticed? I do be trying it when I'm in my job and all,
Yeah.
And it's the dub still comes out.
Yeah.
Because you be saying, you have, instead of my contact details, you say, you have me contact details there if you want to get back in touch. And it's just not natural to you, because ever since you were a kid, I remember if you were saying, I'm going to my house, look at him, the little posh cunt and all, going to me gaff, exactly. Don't be saying that around here, you man cunt, you get your head boxed in.
We're going to the flats.
Fuck's sake.
That's where we walk, you know what I mean?
The days with the fucking fringes and the earring. I have a passport picture of that of myself I put on Instagram. I was just looking at it thinking back on, fuck's sake, like when I was 15, I had the 2 sleepers, so it's like what the first whole tune, Dublin scorching again. That, like what it used to be like back in the day. You'd have a 0 back and sides, 2 on top, big long fringe on you, the fucking sleepers and all, the caps. Fucking, you know what I mean? It used to be mental. All the sovereigns, remember everybody had the sovereigns and all them fucking...
That's what you say, remember sovereigns made you look like you were a gangster, you know what I mean?
Yeah, all
and then the college rings, remember the college rings?
Yeah.
Everyone was mad into them and fucking... To be honest with you, I was never really into jewellery or nothing.
When I was about 10 or 11, you know? I had fucking... That's what I noticed myself. I was about 10 or 11 and I remember I had a load of rings and a little chain. And there was an older fella and he seen us on the bus. And I saw I had my little chain hanging out and all. Yeah. And he just sat down beside us and he just went like that and he put his hand over it. And he says, is that really worth showing off for me just to take it so easy? Neck, and I was like, oh, no way. And he says, there's no point, like, it feels gold. I remember he said it to me, that he says, there's no point fucking, you know what I mean? The way he said, he says, your gold is up here. Yeah, and I remember that stuck with me for years. He says, your knowledge and, you know what I mean, that's the real gold. And I remember even one of the OGs in Ballymun telling us it and all, that was working at UPS, and he put his dead boy to a lot of stuff. Because when I was working the nights and all, fair enough I'd be wearing all clothes. But he sort of was putting his real boy at that saying, like what happened to the old school way of things? That like, if someone's off bleeding, doing whatever, say, the last thing you want to be doing is buying Rolexes and fucking showing off your wealth, especially if you're making it illegal, because fucking so then that's what you were saying, it's the total opposite.
Everybody like
it's fucking mad.
I fucking remember going out with this board and she was like, you should buy yourself a nice car. Like, no one HP, show people where your money's going. I don't give a bollocks where people know where my money's going. Yeah, my car's bleeding.
I'd rather nobody know nothing about my money. What does Biggie say on that tune? 10 crack commandments. Real numero uno. Never let no one know how much dough you hold, because you know the cheddar breed jealousy. And it's for everybody, you know what I mean? That if you think about it, if your mates start knowing you have 50k, 500k in the bank, but then, because obviously like people would start getting that entitled feeling and saying, oh, I'm your mate, I should be getting fucking, you know what I mean? Boy, maybe more than all. It's like, fuck.
That's like, that's the, probably, you know, in a year or two, I'll probably buy a nice car. Not a nice car, like, I mean, more up to date. Like, the yoke I have is 2004. But it's still a spanky
that's
fucking
a lovely
yoke,
jammer.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's lovely. Like, you keep it well, that's the thing, you know what I mean?
The thing about it is, I drive for a living. So I don't drive during the week, I'm driving the van. If I'm going anywhere, I just walk. And then I have the car on the weekend, and I don't really go anywhere on the weekend either. So the car just sits around, you know what I mean? But, yeah. Soon I'm going to have somewhere to go on the weekend, don't worry. I'll be out driving all day.
Still been travelling down the sticks, see all the locations. So I started doing that. I always used to go off when I was younger, like we used to go on family trips and all. But one of my mates is great for bleeding down the drive. And like, say up in there, there's a place called Guido. I remember actually doing a gig up there, Guido in Donegal.
Right.
And I mean, the scenery up there, I couldn't believe it. We were going up in the car, and the lads would be able to tell you if they went up, every few minutes we were stopping. Because there was just breathtaking scenery, and we were like, oh lads, let's jump out, have a quick smoke here and bleeding. Hold on, I'm getting a picture of this. I get a selfie here, there was you know what I mean?
Ireland's a beautiful
phenomenal,
country, you know?
And Dublin's really only small.
Dublin's a dump, man.
Dublin,
no, I'm only joking, like, you know, but
here, I get this.
You know what I mean? It's all flats and all, you know. It's only when you get out of Dublin, like into Wicklow and all, and you start seeing
you see
like,
all the
fucking trees and all, you know. Donegal is like...
it's unbelievable. Yeah. But most of the spots outside Dublin... Now, and the thing is with Dublin, it's tiny, because I've done it a few times, that just, I'd go on my big long walks, I feel it's great for the mind, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And just taking things at your own speed, I'd be on my own, just have a few smokes and we go for the float and fucking, when say 3.5, 4 hours, you can walk from Blanche all the way to Dunleary. And that's just walking, you know what I mean? I'm talking about Blanche all the way to Dunleary, that's going north-west out to bleeding south-east, you know what I mean? And it's bleeding not that far at all, so when you think that Dublin is a small place, it's fucking tiny.
Yeah.
Because say where the sticks where they'll be down, to walk to the nearest town, that like say if you're going to Navan, it's about a 4-hour walk. But all that's there, it's just fields and fucking the main road that runs through it, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that'll show you like the size of Dublin is fucking, you know what I mean, in contrast to that. That was like, that's fucking mad to think that it's just built up so much, you know what I mean?
Yeah, big time. Like, it's like, even from when we were younger, you know. Like, Sheriff Street was just a load of flats.
Yeah.
You know,
and then
everywhere,
they have all
like,
the bleeding fucking
and now they have
separate
all
apartments
these
and all,
bleeding things,
yeah.
you know, we were like...
And that's what's gas is that, because I think they do it in all the world, like in New York and whatever, because obviously it's a big city. So you have a mad gully space right here, like wherever it could be, that's somewhere that has antisocial shit and crime and poverty. And then like 2 minutes across the road, like then they're building 500,000 gaffs and up, you know what I mean? And I noticed that as well, because Blanche used to be like that, but then the buildings start going on. And I was noticing it because I have family that's living in a certain spot there now in Blanche, and it's a new spot, you know what I mean? But it's still the same old Blanche. That bleeding someone set fire to a car or something down in a car park, like whoever they were beefing with. I don't know the ins and outs or whatever. But it was down in the underground car park, and fucking the one car spread to 3 or 4 cars or something. And fucking it nearly blazed the whole building. That they had to evacuate the whole building, and I think there's a few blocks there, but because it was so severe, the fire in the bleeding underground.
It's mad.
And that's what I was thinking, is that it doesn't matter if you build all these gaffs, it's still the same people, man, and it's still the same the same place. Like Ballymun as well, I'll give you a perfect example. They took down the flats out there, but it's still the same old people that bleeding grew up the same way, or their kids that's in the gaffs now, and fucking it does be mental in a lot of space, because it does be quiet, but then it does be mental as well, depending on just the
but like, you know,
the time, you know what I mean?
Fucking huge areas with fuck all to do, you know. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't know, to be honest with you, if there is youth programs around in these areas, because do
you know what's gas?
There was nothing when we were younger. There was nothing. No, absolutely nothing. The scouts or something, you know what I mean? Then that turned out to be like a paedophile ring or something,
all
you know
the
what
shit,
I mean?
Jesus Christ,
fuck's sake, you know? So fuck all that, you know? But like, so, and that's all there was, you know?
Do you know one time I was out in, I won't say the place because bleeding, just I wouldn't want to incriminate anyone or whatever, you know what I mean? Because obviously these were only little youngfellers. But I was out in a place down a little workshop. Some fella was working out there and he invited us out. He says, do you want to have a chat with the kids and all? And there was all youth workers and all in the place. And this is a very gully part of Dublin. Like, I wasn't from there. I had connections out there myself. I wouldn't know much people, maybe 1 or 2, you know what I mean? I was out there down the youth workshop and talking to the young fellas like they were 11 and 12 or whatever. And within 2 minutes of me having a little chat with them and all, they start opening up like mad to us. They're telling us what's going on, that family could be involved in serious shit, you know what I mean? And fucking the guard and the cab coming in and raiding the gaff and right beside Christmas, and the lads have all their presents there and all, and they're getting confiscated by the guard and all, and obviously because it's fucking, they're in between a rock and a hard place because it's their family, but then, you know what I mean, like the coppers coming in, kicking the door in, you're bleeding, making this from proceeds of crime and whatever.
Take it off.
And they're only kids, like, and they were explaining this to us within 2 minutes, and your mum was laughing, that brought us out, because he was saying, they're having more of a connection with you, talking to them 2 minutes, that you were saying, I'm a rapper and I do this and that, and your man showed them the few videos previous, like you told them I was coming in, and they were open up to me within 2 minutes, quicker than the people that work there, the actual youth workers and all. And that's what I was thinking, is that's where there's a sort of, you'd have to draw the line between it, because obviously they're doing their job, or whoever it could be, but it's even more than a job. To like sort of like put young fellas on the straight and narrow, just to even give them a voice, because like I says, they're in a very tough place, and you think that their family will be pulling them one way, because obviously if that's what the families are into, it's like, you know what I mean, it's very, but then like that's what I was saying, whatever you want to do, like go to school, because I went to school and I finished, like, you know what I mean, I remember like I was in and out, I was bunking a lot of time, but I just made the decision and said, you know what, fuck it, I'll finish up. I was down the sticks at the time, and anyway, when I done my last year of school, and I just went in and done my leaving and fucking. And look, this is what's gas, that in this society, when you see what the stress that they put on fucking kids with exams and this and that, and they don't even need half of the shit. You know what I mean? When you believe get out into the real world to get a job, you know what I mean? It's fucking.
Look, I remember when I was in school, right? I was like, always messing, always doing whatever, you know. But the teachers used to say you're bleeding this and you're that, you know. Years later, I went back to education. And I was diagnosed with fucking not ADHD, sorry, fucking dyslexia.
Oh, dyslexia, my brother has that
right,
as well,
so it wasn't my fault, I didn't know. You know what I mean? But they blamed it on you and made you out to be like you're a tick, you know what I mean? And when I went back to education, like I had a tutor and doing like a couple of fucking learning what I should have learned.
Lunatic had dyslexia as well. You know,
learning what I should have learned when I was in school at the first time. If they were mongos, the teachers, you know what I mean? They didn't have to cop on, they're bleeding, cop on, you hear this bloke has
and all it is that, because my brother has it as well, it's like, you'll see something, but read it your own way.
Yeah.
You won't read it how they'll read it, you'll see it how your own way.
I do get text messages and I have to read them 6 times or something. Because the first time I read it, I don't know what I think, you know what I mean? But I don't think it's right. And then I go back and look, and like I've often replied to people with reading the message and replying what I think the message said. And they'd send me back a message saying, what the fuck are you talking about? And then when I'd read the message again, I'd be like, oh yeah, right, that's what they were saying.
But what they said, I remember watching a few documentaries about it, and even my brother, because he was telling us a lot with it. That you just see the world a bit differently. That's all it is that the brain
sees
dyslexia,
things a little bit,
the brain sees things in its own way.
Yeah.
It won't see the things how
you
want
it
to see it be seen. You'll see it in your own way, and says that's what makes you unique. You know what I mean?
That's like explains a lot from when I was in school. You know, like I when I was in school, like I went into secondary school. I was only in secondary school for like 6 months, and I got fucked out. It was
no way.
This fella's a fucking lunatic, man. He can't do shit. You know? And then it turns out years later when I go back, I find out you're dyslexic. Anyway, you look at here, you know, it is what it is.
We end up doing something similar like that. It was with the, because that's when you get if you're on the welfare and if you're bleeding, you can get your back to education allowance and all for going to college and all. Yeah, we went to college in Dublin and all for 3 years and all.
Yeah, I did a horticultural course and all in it.
Daily. I was thinking of doing that and then I ended up, because GI bleeding, I met him just soon after it. Because I was getting all the information for the courses and I was thinking of doing the horticulture one
I'll tell you, it was...
And then he ended up telling me, doesn't he use a course in fucking Dunleary? Yeah. And he says, because the age you are and you're on the dole, he says, they'll pay you.
Take you, yeah.
So pretty much, I think a lot of people don't even know that's on the dole and they could have low self-esteem and they don't have to feel good. You can learn most stuff out there that there is, PLC courses 100%. And stuff like that.
You know what?
Get your money.
This is when I was on the labour or whatever, you know. You're not earning, you should be learning, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very true, Jesus.
Like, that's like, so that's why I went back. I did loads of courses and shit like that. I did a carpentry course in some college up there in fucking Whitehall, you know.
Deadly.
But
they had that in the college I was in as well, that they had the woodwork room, so they had like the music stuff was in this section here, and they had the studio, and then they had the woodwork rooms, and they done a lot of shit. And like you says, I didn't even have a clue any of that till my mate G.I. told us, and he goes, you can fucking get paid and fucking still get your money and a grant and all. This is before the recession, I got the grant and all.
Yeah.
You know what, guys?
$2 or something.
I got more money going to college than I did for working a full-time job. And I was like, how the fuck I landed on my feet going to college for the 3 years? Like, the
money I got for the grant, I bought a car out of it, no? For fuck's sake, you know? Yeah. But we were, I met some bleeding crazy cunts. I swear to God, if they plucked all the lunatics out of Dublin and stuck them
threw them all into the one's face.
I swear to Jesus, we were in the class, you know, and next minute this fella, he was from Clondalkin, right? And there was another bloke there, he was from fucking Summerhill. But he was like an outflow, like, you know, he was like, I was only about 30 at the time. He would have been about 45 or something like that, you know. But this other young fella from Clondalkin, he was only a young fella, you know. Nice fella, real, he came across real soft jumping, but he wasn't, you know that way. But he was a real nice fella anyway, and the two of them started arguing in the class, and they were jumping up, going to batter each other, and I was sitting there going, Jesus Christ, man, what the fuck? And then there was these other two blokes, Cheech and Chong, you used to call them.
Just smoking their brains out all day.
Smoking their brains. Used to come back in the class, sitting down in the class, just laughing at everybody. Like a few weeks ago, right, I was over in Clontarf, was doing a delivery. And next minute, this fella was staring at me, and he goes, "Oh, Billy, what's the story, man? I haven't seen you in years," and starts shaking my hand. I'm looking at him, I'm shaking his hand, and I was like, "Who the fuck are you?" I said, "Who are you, man? I don't know who you were." And he goes, "I was on that course with you doing the thing." That him and Cheech and Chong. That's what we used to call him and another bloke, you know. But, fucking, it was like, it was a mad place.
But you meet some interesting people.
Oh, listen, you know what? Yeah. In my life, I've met some mad fucking things. I remember one time I was in this place we went in, we met this fella from the north side, right? He lived in East Wall, but his cousins lived in Pear Street. That's how we knew him, you know.
Oh, yeah,
we met him in some job place in town, right? But he was with this bloke. He said, when we seen him a couple of days later, I says, who was that lunatic you were with? And he wasn't with me and all, but he was with him, right? But this fella was from Ballymun, right? And he goes, he was saying something about he was into some kind of music and all. And he said, oh no, I went to a place to record something, but I recorded them, recorded me. You know, all this and all, right? And I was like, all right, cool, yeah. And he was just, after talking to him for about 5 minutes, so he says to me cousin, we're sitting there, we're doing like it's like a job, fucking, like a subcontractor for a building site, you know. I says to me cousin, I'm out here, man, I can't listen to this bloke any longer. But he was a lunatic to Youthful, you know. And then the next few weeks we were seeing your man, he was like, who was that mad thing you're with? I wasn't with him and all, but he clearly was with him, you know.
Yeah.
But you come across some space cadets.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what I have, like, I used to think, you know what I mean, I'm a Muppet magnet. You know what I mean? Be sitting down in the middle of nowhere, like, on your own, and next minute some bloke can walk out here. All right, buddy, what's the story? And I'm looking at him thinking to myself, man, there's a big park here. There's loads of places. Why you come over to me, you know? But it just attract fucking...
You have that OG look.
Lunatic looking, you know. I remember in the lockdown, they were doing the comedians were in the flats. And your man was going out now and he was kind of taking the piss out of everybody. And he goes, look at you. He said, if I was at a festival and I was looking for drugs and I seen you, I'd know you had them. Sell me drugs. But,
I think when my mate said that to me years ago, he says, it's a scumbag hit.
Yeah.
Because say if we ever got stopped by the guard, straight away, to be for whatever reason, and I'd probably be the one that'd be walking out with the gang and I wouldn't be doing any shit. The lads could be off robbing car radios and cars and all.
When I go into Tesco and all, straight away the security are on me, right? And I mean, if I was in Tesco and I gave money in and they gave me too much change, I'd go back and say, here, you gave me, because it wouldn't sit right with me, you know what I mean? But fucking, as soon as you walk in, they think, this bloke. I remember one night I went to the Tesco in Rings End, right? Your man did me head in, right? Kept following me, right? So I stopped and waited for him to walk past. And when he walked past, I started walking after him. And he kept walking. Then he'd stop and I'd stop. And then he'd walk again and then I'd walk again. And then he turned around and he goes, you follow me? I said, it's not nice, is it? Fucking wrecking my head every time I walk into the shop.
You know what, Skepta? Did you ever hear Skepta? He's one of the English UK artists. He's very big now. But he has a whopper quote in a song that... in the shop, like, security guards follow me around, like, I ain't got £2 to pay for me juice.
Yeah.
Or whatever the line, there's something like that, like, the security guard following me around, like, I ain't got £2 to pay me juice. Like, he's one of the biggest artists going in the UK. And, like, I always think that myself, that I probably have more money in my bank than you fucking do. And you'll believe, I haven't done that now.
More wages an hour than you are, the security fella, and he's following you around, like.
Yeah,
but, like, that's the look I have, right? I know it.
That's still the stereotype, because I only had it the other day in Super Value. I was going to Finglas and I was getting skins and ice cream.
Yeah.
And your man's you're paying by card, is it? And he's holding the fucking skins and the thing and the bleeding ice cream.
Yeah.
And I'm there thinking, like, you're that fucking paranoid to think I don't have bleeding €5 on my bank card, like that.
I'm gonna rob you.
And I was just thinking, this is fucking gas. That, like, you still get it. Because I was thinking, I used to get it fair enough when I was a kid, and I thought, obviously, it's because where you're from and how you're dressed with tracksuits or whatever. One time I was in Dawn's, this what, even the funny that you're saying it. I was on my way in, security guard noticing us and all, because they used to have agency staff and then the regulars that were full-time in there, you know what I mean? And so I go up and got me roll, and then fucking went up to the tails and paid for it, and I was going into the canteen area or whatever. And the security guard that was in the office where you have the cameras or whatever, he's laughing his head off and he calls me in, he goes, James, come here for a second. And he goes, did you see that security guard, the Asian chap or wherever he was from, I think he was probably Indian or something.
Yeah.
He says, did you see that chap when you were walking in there and all? I says, oh yeah. He says, he's radioing in, going, I have a bogey suspect, do you have him on the camera and blah, 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 blah. And the man's there like, checking on the cameras and all. Oh yeah, that's James, he walks here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll give you a view, right? We were out with Dunleary one night, right? We're walking along, me and another bloke, right? At the park in the car, we're going for a walk, right? Next minute, playing car pulls up beside us, right? And these two blokes, right? And your man goes, how are you doing, lads? I said, okay. He goes, where you going?
Brazilians in the basement.
Yeah, telling you, man. Put it down and pat or something. But he said, where you going?
Charlie, your real name is Charlie Escobar.
Yeah.
He's bringing in all the cocaine. Brazilians downstairs, chopping her up now. It's yup.
But,
on the way to the public very soon.
So, so the copper, right, he says, where you going? I said, we're going for a walk. He said, I don't recognise your face. I said, why would you? We don't live around here. All right, yeah, no, what's with the attitude? I says, what attitude? We're out on a walk. You just pulled up. Listen, where you going? It's none of your business. All right, okay, yeah. All right, have a nice night, lads, and all. Yeah, you fucking wanker. But, yeah, that's just a little story, yeah. But, listen, man, it's been a pleasure.
It's great.
Some chat.
It's great. 100%.
We'll have to get you on again, bro.
And I'll have to get you on a song, because I know you've done the few with the first.
Yeah, anything, bro.
Since back in the day with the She Smokes.
Unbelievable.
What was the other one? Mad Session.
Mad,
the other one
Mad
hanging
Scene.
the copper. Mad Scene. Yeah, Mad Scene.
But,
your acting skills are top notch, so I have
Thanks
to say.
very much.
You know what I mean?
Thanks very much, bro.
But, legend, bro.
Means a lot.
But #1 podcast in Ireland. Check it out. Billy Big Balls.
Right, episode 7 wrapped up. It's a wrap. Billy loves you.
I've got big balls. I've got big balls. And they're such big balls. And they're dirty big balls. And biggest balls of all, ladies.